in favor of the winner, and still WBC welterweight champion of the world, Showtime, Shawn Porter.
Ladies and gentlemen, undeniably, the hungriest one in the division, the one with the most to prove, the one they try to say can't do it most and continues to do it. He came back home this morning, Heather B.
That's a fact.
He had to come home and gather his bearings for the biggest fight of his career coming up next. September 28th at the Staples Center, the one and only Shawn Showtime Porter is here. Yo, man.
Clean that up, man. That's a nice introduction, man.
That's better?
Yeah. Why y'all play that announcement? Y'all should have played the one when I won the belt.
Yo, I mean, you know, Shawn, I like to go from the last fight.
Ah, man.
You know, the fight that, you know.
That was the fight where it was cold.
Okay.
Judges was nodding off.
Oh, yeah.
I think they left to go get hot cocoa at some point. They missed a couple of these rounds.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
And called it a split decision.
Yeah.
They went and got hot cocoa or something.
You did. Yeah.
You should have played the one when I won that belt.
Okay, man. We could dig it up, man.
Yeah.
But you still won. It's like, man, it still was a victory, Shawn. I mean, damn, you defended the belt.
It all matters.
It all matters. It adds
man.
up. Shawn Porter
and the
is here.
only thing that matters now is what?
September 28th at the Staples Center.
Yes, sir.
Shawn Porter against Errol Spence Jr. And I couldn't do this without bringing my fight. I got my fight brain trust here. Mike Muse right there. When I watch fights, if I'm not at the fight, I got a 90-inch screen at my house in Harlem. And Mike Muse comes.
Yeah.
And my brother comes.
Very
and
nice.
we sit down for hours and eat Heather's food. And I got him on the line right now. He's at work. But I told him, when Shawn comes in the room, I need you to be on the line. Welcome to one and only Big Horse is here. Horse.
Hey,
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
What's good?
What's going on, sir?
Sound like we at the house.
Hey, brother, man. What's up, Shawn?
Been missing you, big dog.
Hey, champ. Listen, hey, Sway.
Yeah.
I bet he ain't got that smile on his face. He's serious. Look at his eyes, homie. I guarantee you he's serious. He's dead serious, man.
Horse, you know me, man. I smile until it's time to turn it off, man. And then I turn on the, I hit the other switch, man.
Hey, listen, I want to say this, too. I want to make a prediction already. Shawn is finishing this boy by the 8th round. I'm letting y'all know that right now. This boy ain't never been pushed the way he about to be pushed. So all that other stuff y'all been seeing, I guarantee you that my boy pushed this boy the way he's supposed to be pushed. Guaranteed.
Let me tell you something. When Horse makes predictions, Mike Muse, the last prediction this dude made was in that Ruiz fight against old boy.
Yeah. It was uncanny.
Yeah.
He called it within the first round. Probably within the first, first round, I think.
Yeah.
Horace called it. And me and Sway like, no, Horace, let it play out. And by dog, it was come true.
It was no way we thought Ruiz was going to win that heavyweight championship fight, and he ended up pulling it off.
He did.
And Horse has a way of predicting things, and it always comes true.
Listen, man, he said knockout. I'm sure everybody listening like, Errol Spence? Who's going to knock out Errol Spence?
Yep.
I'm the one to do it.
Yeah.
You really believe
that?
I'm the one to do it.
Talk your shit, champ. Talk your shit. Talk your shit.
I'm the one to do it.
Yeah?
I'm different. You've seen me time and time again. I'm just different. And I think it takes a special individual, a different individual that's willing to really just put his life on the line, put his hard work on the line, put my family on the line. You know what I mean? I've been away from my child for weeks. I haven't seen him, I haven't talked to him for weeks. Do all that for that one moment. I told my dad, I said, man, we're in camp getting things together. I said, we still making a few mistakes, but we're getting better. He said, yeah, we're getting better. We're gonna get better. I said, listen, I only have to be 100% one time.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to be 100%.
You ready to be 100%?
Oh, man.
And you believe you're going to knock out Errol Spence Jr.?
100%. Yes, sir. I believe I have what it takes to do everything to make him uncomfortable. Everything to make this the fight that he's never expected. Things that he's not prepared to do.
Yes.
You know,
talk your shit.
It's interesting because
this is a live interview.
It's interesting because I know you guys sparred before, but that was so many years ago. But I found this clip of Errol speaking on the time that y'all actually sparred. This is what was said.
First time I ran into Errol Spence was in 2011.
Might have been 2011, 2010. That first time we really talked for a brief moment or a little bit.
And I would say ever since then, we've been very cordial.
I really can't remember the sparring.
I remember thinking, this kid's good.
So I think if I can't really remember it, I probably got the best of him.
It's tough. You know, I remember thinking those things about Errol Spence way back in 2012.
I would have remembered if he'd beat me up. So I think I definitely got the better of that sparring match.
Yo, Errol doesn't sound like he's losing any sleep, Shawn.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. Do you remember the sparring match?
I really don't. I remember the whole the whole experience.
Yeah.
I remember when they brought in professionals to work with the amateur team that was going off to, I believe the Olympics were in England that year, the year that he fought in them. So I do remember that part of it, but I don't remember being in the ring with him for more than 2 rounds.
Okay.
I mean, maybe 4 tops. It was really light. It was just, it was a thing that the pros came out to help the amateurs, you know what I mean? So, back then he was an amateur kid. He was going for the Olympics, and I don't think necessarily Shawn Porter was on his mind. I wasn't even a champion at that point,
Okay. So you don't remember his move. I guess it wouldn't matter anyway. This is back in 2011. People have grown and evolved.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you for sure I've changed a lot over the years, So.
Okay, so let me ask you guys about this. In the Ugas fight, you fought a different kind of fight, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It was more of a boxer's match. You boxed a lot more than normally we see you go in and you kind of destroy guys.
Yeah.
Was that designed for that particular – Kenny, I ask you this. Was that game plan designed for that particular fighter, or why? How'd that happen?
Nah, that was God's plan. So I got up that morning at 6 a.m. and I'm running around doing everything, checking up on everything. I got an assistant coach that's in the hospital, which is Barry Hunter. He's my second in command. He's in the hospital with the flu, can't get on the plane. He's fighting doctors to try to get out of the hospital, get on the plane. I got a backup guy coming in. He hasn't landed yet. I got my cut man running around trying to get all of his stuff ready for preparation for the fight. So it's 6 o'clock in the morning. We're running around doing all these things. The bus is picking the van is picking us up at 2:30. 2 o'clock, I walk in my room and I'm like, damn, I've exerted myself so much, I need to lay down for a moment. And I looked at the bed and I said, you can't lay down. 2:30 is the fight. And I looked at it and I said, God, just let me lay down for 30 minutes. So I set an alarm on my phone. And as I was dozing off into the twilight of the sleep, as I just felt myself dozing off, I heard God speaking. He said, he can't touch you. And I opened up my eyes. I hadn't even fallen asleep. I said, he can't touch you, get up. And I got up and grabbed my bag and headed on downstairs. Hit Shawn's door. We went down together. I said, listen, God told me to tell you something. What is it? What is it? What is it? What did he tell me? I said, just hold on, just hold on. So we on the van and we on our way over there. And then we get to the place and we get off and we go in and they're getting ready to give him a drug test. And he's like, what did God tell you? What did God tell you? I said, just hold on, just hold on, just hold on. So after that, he starts stretching and he's getting his stretch on. About 30 minutes later, he's getting stretched. Hey, what did God tell you? I said, just hold on, man, just hold on. After that, he get the hand wraps on. They wrap his hands up and everything. He's warming up. He's padding up. Now we padding him up and hitting the pads and everything. He said, you gonna tell me what he said? I said, just hold on. We gonna talk about that in a minute. And I'm still kind of like letting this go. Yeah, I'm processing and letting this go through my mind. And this is exactly what happened. We got ready to walk through that tunnel to go to the ring. Yeah. Somebody told us it's cold, it's raining, it's outside. What the hell are they doing with a fight in March out here outdoors anyway? But this is what's going on. So we threw a couple of blankets on him, clipped him up with these blankets. We found some blankets, we taking him to the ring, and I look at him and I said, hey, God told me to tell you he can't touch you. So just go out there and box. He can't touch you. First round, second, third, fourth, fifth, I believe it was the 6th round, he came back to the corner. I said, man, you looking like Mr. Clean. I'm calling you Mr. Clean tonight. This kid can't touch you. He can't land a punch on you. This is what was given to me. I just said what was said. I didn't say, hey, you gonna fight this way, this is what we gotta do, change it to this, change it to that. I just said those words. God said he can't touch you. Yeah. And so we fought that way. And I told Shawn after the fight, after the announcement, although he didn't agree, I told him, I said, listen, if anything had happened, if it was anything less than a win tonight, I was fine with that because I did what God told me to do. No, I wasn't with that, man. I want to win. But listen, that's what happened.
Yeah.
It was not in the preparation of the camp. It wasn't in anything that happened that day that we said we're going to work on. It just came to me from God.
A lot of fans didn't like that style on Shawn.
Nah.
You got a lot of boos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what you expect. You know what I mean? When you come to now a Lakers game, used to be Cavs game, shout out LeBron, but when you go to the game, you expecting to see LeBron catch alley-oops.
Yeah.
You expecting him to throw it down.
If
he's standing on the outside shooting it all night, and on top of that, you like, hold on, this ain't what is he hurt? What's going on? You know what I mean? So I think that I just brought a different dynamic to the game that worked against Dennis Ugas. He said himself he was confused for about 4 or 5 rounds.
He did say that.
The word literally confused about 4 or 5 rounds. So if that's not a testament to what we were doing that night and how well it worked against him, ask him himself. You know what I mean? So with this one, I think the only surprise is to the people that are expecting Errol Spence to come out of there victorious. That's gonna be the only surprise.
That's gonna be the surprise.
Yeah.
The people who expect Errol Spence to win are going to be surprised. Steve Cohen, our VP of sports, senior VP of sports, was in here this morning. He said, "You're having a champ in here." I said, "Yeah." He said, "I won't be able to ask him a question because I have a meeting." I said, "I'll record it for you." Here's his question.
What is your game plan to take on Spence, a guy that nobody has been able to get to and beat?
Here's how I'll answer that question. And I'll pull back on the experiences, the fights that you've seen me had. I went at Keith Thurman like he didn't have power.
Yeah.
I went at Keith Thurman like he was just an ordinary man. And I went at him for 12 rounds, and he came right back at me for 12 rounds.
Yeah, he did.
It was a war. Danny Garcia, I made Danny fight punch first. I counterpunched Danny for the first 5 or 6 part of the early part of the fight. Then I switched it up, and I took it to him, banged the body, went at him, won a unanimous decision. Your Dennis Ugas, my very last fight, he said himself that he was confused for about 4 or 5 rounds, and it took him that long to really understand what was going on in the ring. To sum it up, I made all those guys uncomfortable. To sum it up, none of those guys knew how to handle what I was doing, and that's how I plan to beat Errol Spence. Do some things that he's not comfortable with. Do some things that he does not understand.
What is he not comfortable with? We've seen Earl on every facet of the ring.
You have not seen anybody throw combinations at Errol Spence.
Okay.
You have not seen anybody go at Errol Spence's body and continue to go at him. You saw Mikey Garcia outbox Errol or box with Errol for about 2.5 rounds, 3 rounds, and then he fell off of that. I'm in shape. I swim, I run, high altitude training, ice baths, cold tubs. I do whatever it takes to be prepared to go 12 hard rounds. And that's something that Errol Spence has not done. What hasn't Errol Spence been able to do? He hasn't been able to fight hard for 12 rounds. Nobody's made him fight hard for 12 rounds. So you say, Shawn, man, it sound good. It sound good.
I'm all hype about it.
It sound good. It sound good.
I'm getting excited. Yeah.
I know me.
Okay.
I am, and this is where I come from. We do not accept no. We find a way to get the job done. So the night of the fight, you saying, Shawn, you saying, oh, this, oh, that, oh, this, how you know you gonna? Because I will not accept anything other than doing what I do. Simple as that.
What's that, Horse? What you say, Horse?
Yeah, that's my boy talking. Let him talk. Just talking.
I'm sorry, but this is me.
Yes.
This is me. And Horse, you not here. I'm in a nice suit today, man.
Ooh, I know you sharp.
I love wearing my suits. Don't nobody else come in here like that, right?
No, you do come in. And they smell good. They smell exceptional.
I'm no kidding.
But hold up. But here's my point. Don't nobody else come in here like this, right?
Nah.
This is what I do. I asked my dad. I said, what you wearing on Sway? He said, oh, I'm going to just, put on the black this, black that. I called my tailor from New York, from Albany, and had him drive this suit in today.
That's a nice
so that I could come here and do what I do.
Show them the cufflinks, too, man. Don't stop with the suit, baby. They signature. You see that? They signify, man. You got to see it, Horse. He in here shining, man. We just bumped into Eric B. upstairs. Eric B. was admiring his jewelry.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Horse,
this is what I do.
This is what he do. Horse, so you're predicting a knockout in 8?
You're going to stop him because you know why? Errol Spence, he fights behind his jab. He leads with his jab. He ain't never been pressured. He ain't never been, he works behind his jab. So he ain't never fought a person that's going to come forward like Shawn, that's going to keep the fight close. He fights at the end of his punches, like he works behind his jab. So I know Shawn is going to keep the fight close. And like I said, Shawn knows how to brawl. Shawn knows how to fight. He knows how to mix it up. I only see Errol Spence do one thing, that was work behind his jab. I never seen him in a brawl. I never seen him really fight.
Funny thing, I'm just reminding myself. I just said a couple times, this is what I do. My dad looked at me just in training, just a couple days ago, and he said, "We ain't changing nothing." He said, "Go in there and do what you do."
And that's what people want to see you do. Last fight, they didn't feel like you were doing what you do.
Yeah.
Now we want to see you go back inside, do what you do, that gladiator style that got you to be the person you are today.
Right.
It's all out on the mat this time.
Yeah, it's all out on the mat.
This could change history books.
Yes, sir.
This fight.
Yes, sir.
This is the fight that'll keep you in the likes of the Muhammad Ali's and the Ken Nortons and the Sugar Ray Leonards and the Haglers, and this could be that fight.
And I said that. I said, I've been in a lot of great fights. I've been in some really, really good competitive fights against some other really elite guys. I said, but I've been on both sides of that. I've been on the losing side. I've been on the the winning side. With this one, it's not about just being in a great fight and saying, "Oh yeah, I was there and I did that." Nah, that ain't enough.
Just for the books.
That ain't enough.
This is for the books.
It's for history.
Yep.
There it is. Shawn Porter is here. We're gonna open up these phone lines. Horse, man, I love you, family.
Hey, I love y'all, man. Hey, champ, you already know you're already in your corner already. You already know how that go already. So anything that you're doing ain't gonna be shocking to me. I just want the world to see what this is. It's Showtime, baby. Let's get this, man.
Appreciate you, Horace, man. I'm gonna text you up, all right?
Let's do that.
Hey,
all
Horace,
right?
I'll hit you later on if Heather let me.
All right, you got it. All right, peace, everybody.
888-742-3345. Shawn Porter is here. September 28th, Staples Center. Errol Spence Jr., the IBF welterweight champion of the world, is taking on the WBC welterweight champion, the one and only Shawn Showtime Porter.
It's Showtime, Shawn Porter.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But let's
I always do it that way.
I gotta ask you
it's
though.
Showtime, Shawn Porter.
What you got going for you? Always got something going on when I fight. What's happening this time? he always had a.
You know what, Shawn? We laughing because I just asked him. That Horse was like, "Yo, I can't believe they coming today. I gotta work. I got meetings." Ask homie what's happening in the fight night. I just asked him that. And you was nowhere around. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Talk to him, Sway.
He got a wedding to go to, and then the bar mitzvah after that.
Shit, it's
he got to go talk to Barack
it's
Obama.
So true.
Yeah.
Man, honestly, I'm scheduled to do I can't speak on what we're doing with the company.
Yeah.
But I'm scheduled to
and
be.
Ain't it always something he can only say so much. We just
know
know September 28th. I'm busy.
I'll tell you off mic.
Yeah, I got you.
But it's something that's really big that's happening in Chicago.
Understood, 100%.
Not as big as your fight.
Yeah.
But I was pre-committed, and when I tell you what it is, you'll go okay. I think you'll go okay. But I hate it that it's always. The last time I saw you live, I think was at the Thurman fight.
I was gonna say, but you canceled something
to come to the Thurman.
Yeah, right.
I had to cancel something to go to that fight.
Right.
But man, I love y'all though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, out just even beyond boxing, when I first met these guys, man, I was just really. I admire you guys.
Yeah.
I love the way you guys handle yourself.
Yeah.
you and your father.
It's
Kenny
different
was
over
so,
here.
inviting to me. Like it was like we known each other before we actually physically met each other. And we've been friends ever since. And then Horace, with Horace, that's my brother, and y'all treat him like family.
We down in DC training for about 2 weeks. After the first week, I said, hey, we got to do some more to promote this fight. Will you think about hitting up Sway? And he says, oh, you wanna go up to New York and talk with Sway? I said, yeah, if we can make that happen, let's see if we can do it. And it's just a blessing that he could just text you up and we can make this happen. You know what I mean? So we definitely appreciate you.
That shit took 20 minutes. Horace hit me and said, Kenny and them want to holler at you real quick.
Yeah.
And then I hit you.
Yeah.
What's popping? What y'all need?
Yeah.
It's like that though, man. I love y'all. But nevertheless, all the love in the world. It's not going to help this man when he steps in the ring with Errol Spence Jr.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of love going into that.
Yeah?
It's love in the corner.
Okay.
That's a big thing.
That's a big thing?
And let me tell you something real quick, which is off from just the fight itself. I saw this video where Errol said, yeah, Shawn, he got his dad in his corner, his dad in his pockets. And I wish that I was able to be there and speak to him at that time and ask him, do you have a trainer? Yeah, I got a trainer. Do you pay that trainer? Well, Shawn pays his trainer. Do you have a manager? Yeah, I got a manager. Do you pay your manager? Shawn pays his manager. Question I would ask him, when you're done with boxing, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, your trainer or your manager, they're going to come back to you and say, oh, by the way, here's everything we ever made. It goes to you because God told me it's time for me to leave. Everything I've ever received from this kid and what I do goes back to him. I work for free. None of this is mine. Because when God says, that's it, Kenny, it's over, the time is up, then I got to go. So I'm going to borrow time anyway. But everything, I don't think his trainer's coming back giving him houses, cars, assets, business revenues that he's created, streams that he may have created. I don't think any trainer, manager going to come back and say, oh, yeah, Errol, all this belongs to you. So when I hear shit like that, you know what I'm saying, it just makes me feel, you know what? They don't have a clue of what this is really about. So, yeah, we love each other. When it's over with, we still going to love each other. When it's over with, his kids and anybody that come, any other children he have, anything that he has going on, I make sure that everybody's taken care of. Nothing gets to go with me. Everything goes back to him.
Yeah.
Amen.
There it is, man. Kenneth Porter.
Got them right
Father
together.
of Showtime. Shawn Porter.
Got
like
y'all
that.
together,
All right,
huh?
man. Hey, look, we're going to take these phone lines. Hey,
Case
Derek.
you fell apart.
Y'all know, right? Derek in Ohio, what you want to say?
What up, D?
Hey.
Oh, man, it's an absolute honor. I've listened to y'all for years, and I appreciate y'all taking my call. Ohio's definitely in the building.
Okay.
I have a question for Showtime. If you beat Errol Spence, it's hard for me to pick up. I love both of y'all. If you beat Errol Spence, what do you want to do in that welterweight division after that fight?
First of all, man, I know it's tough to pick one. You like us both. You like one more than the other. After this fight, man, you're going to be a fan of both of us. This is going to be electric beginning to end, and it's going to be an amazing night for Team Porter. After that, I think I'm pretty much sure we're going to look to fight Manny Pacquiao. Right now we're in the business of unifying titles. That seems to be what's going on in the welterweight division. And first of all, I'm blessed to be a part of that. So I'm gonna go get that IBF, and then after that, I'm gonna try to get all three of those belts in one pitcher at one time.
Let's talk about Manny. Thank you, Derek. You're a citizen, man. By the way, all
Sway
right.
in the morning.
How do you explain what we're seeing with Manny at this age?
Wow.
What was he just part of a era of boxers that were just higher caliber that would allow him to sustain for so long and be able to fight? This is the best the welterweight division has looked in a long time, man. What you got, Terrence, Earl, Manny Pacquiao, Showtime, Shawn Porter. Any one of you guys could go down as a greatest. How is Manny maintained? And Kenny, what is that?
I don't know. We went to the Philippines with him when Shawn was 21. And we worked with him back then. Shawn's just, young in the pro career, 10 fights in. And we worked with him back then, and we saw some great things. We learned a lot from him. Of course, the experience of being in the Philippines for 6 weeks was a big life experience for us as well. But to look up this many years later, that was 2010.
Yeah.
To look up this, 2019 and see him still doing it's amazing. I was doubting it. Shawn called it, said he was going to win. I called it. Keith was going to win. We had a little back and forth argument. It wasn't really an argument. I felt Keith was going to win the fight. But what he's done is nothing short than an amazing. And I got to say, the heart of it, the birth of it, the common denominator there is God. Because Manny, and when we spent all that time with Manny in the Philippines, we always attended church with Manny as well.
Wow. Okay.
And everything he did, before he sparred, before he ate, before he did anything, we prayed. So we carried that to the ring as well. We had already been living that lifestyle, but this just, it's amazing.
What do you remember when sparring with Manny? What do you remember that you learned from him? Like, how hard does he hit?
And I think that this is the separation for him and a lot of guys that, were with him and the way he's able to still do it. The number one thing I learned from Manny is his passion for the sport, his passion to compete. It's just not normal. It's different. He at his age and everything that he's done, and even his position now in his country, it's why would you continue to do it? But he has a love and a passion for this sport the same way NBA players never want to retire.
They never want to leave, right?
They never want to leave.
Yeah.
NFL never want to leave. You don't really see that in boxing, but he has that,
But how fast is he, Shawn?
He's
anybody faster that you fought?
He's probably the fastest guy I've been in the ring with. He's probably the fastest guy I've been in the ring with.
Yeah.
I remember when we first started sparring, I was keeping up with him, hand speed, foot speed, even the power, the whole nine. And I was like, he's good, but, I think we get back to the United States. It was my first camp with him. We get back to the United States. He's about 3 weeks away from his fight, like one of our very last sparring sessions. He catches me with a shot. After he hits me, I thought to myself, oh, he's ready. That's the difference. The difference is he takes his time. He gets ready for what he has to do, and then he does it. And it's one of those things I think we've been able to learn how to make our camps better and better, add things, take away things, make our camps better. That way we can go into the ring 100%. And Manny Pacquiao is just one of those rare commodities out there that can go into the ring 100%.
There it is, man. Showtime, Shawn Porter is here. Matter of fact, y'all hit him up directly on his social. Give out your social, Shawn.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the good stuff. Showtime, Shawn P. Hit me up, man. We got a big one. Fox pay-per-view, September 28th. Showtime, Shawn Porter versus Errol Spence, The Truth Jr.
You're doing that NFL show, too.
Oh, yeah. They got me coming on.
You're a great commentator. I watch you doing commentary. You're really good, bro.
Thank you, man.
You know who else is dope? It's Andre Ward. I think is dope too.
Ward is solid. He was watching Ward on the way over here. He said Ward is really good.
Yeah, but you're very colorful, very descriptive. You make us feel like I love your inside the ring point of view that others might not be able to give.
Yeah,
you do a good job.
I'm doing the best I can, man, and I'm enjoying it. You've been seeing the Inside PBC boxing
man.
show?
I watch everything.
That's what's up.
I'm everything but a guy who's stepping in the ring.
Yeah.
I'm all everything up until
After
the
that
ring.
little Mexican boy beat you up when you was little, right?
Oh, come on, Heather. Why you always bringing that up? Little Mexican dude bopped me in my nose. I was out the ring.
We gotta get you in some gear, man.
Okay, we got JT from Detroit on the line. JT, what up? JT, what up, baby? What you want to say?
What up? Good morning, champ. Hey,
good morning.
Two big things. I think you are going to beat Errol Spence. I think, like you said, you're going to give him something that he's not used to. You're going to make him uncomfortable. I even think that you can beat Manny Pacquiao, who I don't think you can beat, and who I don't think you really want to see. No disrespect. It's going to be Bud Crawford. I don't think too many guys want to see Bud Crawford for whatever reason. But versus fighting Manny Pacquiao, I think your next fight after Errol Spence should be Bud Crawford. How do you feel about Bud?
That's a great way to ask that question. I'm a big fan of Terrence Crawford, but and we were talking about this a little bit off air. I don't know if I'm gonna dive too deep into it, but let me first say this. I think that Terrence Crawford is one of the best fighters in the world. He's definitely one of the best welterweights in the world. Unbelievable talent, unbelievable skill, reflexes, the whole nine. He has everything that it takes to be one of the best fighters of all time. I will definitely say that. One thing that I've learned about this sport is you can compete, but you can also be a fan. If one is lacking, then you're not you're not enjoying the sport. If one is lacking, you're not enjoying the sport. If I'm not competing against Terrence Crawford in terms of when he has a great fight, if I'm not looking at that saying, man, my next fight got to be explosive, then I'm not enjoying the sport. I'm not doing the best I can for the sport. And if I'm not watching him and I'm saying, yo, this boy is bad.
Yeah.
This boy, man, how he do that and even trying to learn from him, then I'm taking away from what I can do in the sport. I'm taking away from my love and my enjoyment of the sport. So I'm definitely a fan. I'm a fan of Terrence Crawford. I'm a fan of Deontay Wilder. I'm a fan of Errol Spence. I'm a fan of David Benavidez. All those guys.
Manny Pacquiao.
I'm a fan of Manny Pacquiao. Floyd Mayweather. I'm a fan of those guys, So when it comes to me and Terrence Crawford, him and I have had conversations before, and it went a little bit like this. Man, what you doing up here? Well, in the amateurs, I was 165. He's 132 pounds. The conversations went something like, man, what you doing up here? He said, man, I'm doing the best I can, man. I'm coming for that 147-pound title. I said, all right, well, what's going on? He said, well, I ain't coming at you, man. It's a couple other guys on one first. I said, all right. I said, well, I said, man, listen, this is how we get down. If you and I decide to fight, it's going to be because you and I want to fight. We're not going to let anybody tell us that we have to fight. And on the other side of that, if you and I decide to fight, we're going to fight.
Yeah.
We're not going to let nobody tell us that we can't fight. I saw him when he beat Jose Benavidez. And I saw him and I said, hey, man, I was sitting on my couch, and after you beat him, I stood up and I was just scratching my head thinking, I might have to fight this dude. This was a couple years after we had that conversation. I was like, I'm thinking, man, I might have to fight this dude. And he laughed. I said, man, you did a great job, man. You're doing a fantastic job. He said, thank you. I said, hey, man, the conversation we've had is still the same, right? He said, yeah, it's the same. And so he and I have a relationship that extends a little bit further past the sport. And I think that if beating Errol Spence, beating Manny Pacquiao, I think a fight like that will be in the future. It has to happen. I think that's a fight that will have to happen. But also, let me say this. Just because a guy loses a fight to one guy does not mean that guy can't beat another guy. Yes. Styles make fights.
Yes.
So we understand that we have the pieces to the puzzle to beat Errol Spence. That does not mean that there will not be, after I beat Errol Spence, there will not be a suspenseful fight between him and Terrence Crawford. Yeah. That fight can still be made, and that fight can still be big. This is a sport we in right now where...
Yeah, I mean, and don't sleep on Keith Thurman.
No.
No. Keith, he only lost one fight.
Keith ain't out the picture.
No, he ain't out the picture.
He just ain't got no belt no more.
Wow.
He just ain't got no belt no more.
He might be hungrier now. JT, thank you. A citizen, man.
Sway in the morning.
All right, I'm going to take one more call. Kansas in San Antonio. Good morning, Kansas.
Hey.
Yeah. What's up?
What up, bro?
Back
chilling, man. Chilling.
What you want to say?
Hey, what's up, Shawn Porter?
What's going on now?
Shit, chilling, man. Chilling. Say, man. Hey, I watch every single fight of yours, and I watch your dad too, and you have a good dad.
Thank you.
Just want to tell you that, and
thank you.
He's strict on you, but man, I look at his father, the way he fathers you, and I try to father my son.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah, but
that's
on you, hey, I want to tell you, be careful with Spence.
Yes, sir.
I mean, just try not to come in with your head too much, because he'll ping it up.
Yeah. I hear you 100%.
So, say, man, hey, you don't even know me, man, but, down here, we get down,
Man, listen, the way you talk, I feel like we got a relationship. The way you talking right here, man, we kicking it.
Yeah, for real. Hey, I like the way your dad checked AB too.
Adrian Broner.
Yeah. Back in the days when you got into it with him, his dad, Shawn Porter, man, your dad checked him after the fight.
Man, listen, Kans, let me say this, man. I'm glad you opened this door. My dad has been a phenomenal dad. My dad has been self-taught. He taught himself how to father, how to raise children, how to be the coach that he is and the person that he is. Even though I did not, I'm 31 now, even though through the whole 31 years of my life, I didn't understand all of it. I didn't appreciate all of it. Now being 31 years old, I appreciate and I understand it fully. So in front of everyone, in front of the world, thank you. You already know we have these conversations all the time.
Yeah.
Thank you. But Kens, this is a part of who we are, man. I learned really early on that I'm not just an athlete. I'm not just a professional. I'm more than that, and I have a job. My job extends beyond the ring, and it goes into motivating people, inspiring people, helping people become better. And I'm just really, really blessed to have you on the line right now and tell me that you look up to the relationship that I have with my dad, and that you're trying to father your children and do the same things that my dad and I do. It's honestly, it's all self-taught. We've learned on the job. We've learned how to adapt, and that's the best advice I can give you, man. Listen to your children the way they listen to you. Do your best to respect them the way that they respect you, and do your best to love them and make sure that they love you, and just keep pulling from everybody else, man. This is how we got here. My dad pulled from everyone else, the other fathers that he had in his life, the other men that he had in his life that have inspired him and motivated him, and it really has, man. It became a snowball effect where, you know, my son is only a year and a half, and I can't wait to do the same things that my dad has done with me, man. So
you gonna put on him boxing?
I didn't want to. Every time this dude see a glove, he picks it up, and he even puts it on, and he hitting the wall. He loves ducks. He hitting his ducks. I'm like, yo, you love the duck. Why you hurting it? Why you hitting it? And he looks up at me and he just smiling.
Duck,
you know.
Huh?
So
sound like
listen,
y'all gotta feed that kid, man.
I got, but and so even with all that through the first year of his years when he started doing stuff like that, I'm like, wow, like I don't want you to box. I'm watching the movie 300, and I'm watching the way that they raised them, the kids over there in 300, and I'm like, wow, I'm like, who am I to tell my son he can't do something he loves and he wants to do? I'm like, the men and even the women and back in that time, in that era, they didn't stand in the way of those children. Them kids had to go off and do what they had to do to get ready for war. If my son wants to go to war, I'm gonna do my best the same way my dad did for me to help him be prepared for war.
Showtime, Shawn Porter. You getting to know him, ladies and gentlemen. Keep those applause going. He's putting it all on the line coming September 28th. Staples Center, available on Fox Sports pay-per-view. Make sure you invest in the winner. It's going to be a great fight. Big Horse predicted a knockout in the 8th round. We're going to see how it turns out. Showtime said he's going to make Errol Spence Jr. uncomfortable in a way he's never felt. We're going to see, ladies and gentlemen. Kenny, I thank you for coming in today,
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, brother. Nothing but love for you guys. And if I'm able to make it, you'll see me there as well. Okay? Might have to cancel something again.
Hey.
Okay?
Do what you got to do.
Shawn, do your thing,
I'm
man.
going to do what I got to do.
You're a class act, bro.
Thank you.
You're great for the sport of boxing.
I'm trying to be, man.
You're excellent for the sport of boxing.
Thank you.
Very inspirational.
Thank you.
I love it, man.
We got some more work to do.
Okay.
A lot of work to do.
A lot of work to do.
Yeah.
We're here with y'all, okay? Thank you for coming through.